with me, O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Big night for Luton Town. They are through to the playoff final. Sunderland disappointment, but it was a great game and fair play to Luton Town. They just overrun them in every department. 03717 223344. If you want to come and talk about the pitch invasion at the end as well, you can have your say on that. Well, how do we stop this? How do we make it work where fans can celebrate with players without having to run on a football pitch? Let's go to Adam. He's a Luton Town fan. All right, Ed?
Hello.
All right, Ed. How are you, Ed?
Yeah, I'm fine. On my way back from Luton. Absolutely brilliant tonight. I feel the fans let us down a little bit. I was at Huddersfield last year. Went to Sunderland on Saturday. A few problems with Sunderland Saturday. So it was about 700 tonight. We will get fined because it was.
Ad, your line's not great. Phone us back. If I know maybe you need to pull over or something and give us a call because we want to hear you. You've been at the game and you want to have your say on the
pull
fans.
off and then phone back.
Let's go to Tom, who's a Crystal Palace fan. All right, Tom?
Evening, chaps. How's it going?
Yeah, good, mate. Go on. I'm guessing you want to talk about pitch invasions, right?
Yeah. Well, it makes a change from coming on ranting and raving about Palace potentially going down. So it's good in that sense. But no, I wanted to make a point because I was at a Palace game. It was 2008, and we got in the playoffs like by the skin of our teeth in the end. And we played Burnley last game of the season, won 5-0. And the point I wanted to make was it is possible to prevent it because it was organised. Like there was talk of it on social media before the game amongst the fans that if we got there, this ain't even about going up. This is getting into the playoffs. Right. Saying we'll get on the pitch, blah blah blah. But I remember pretty much the entire of the second half. There was, a ring of stewards right around the ground. These days you see it, with a couple of minutes to go, they'll sort of get up and. But also, even I might be, this might have happened a lot, but on the tannoy, they're constantly saying, look, don't even try it, don't even think about it. Anything happens, it didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. No one tried to get on the pitch. Right. So this idea that it's not, it's not policeable or. It is. I get the fan side of it. And most fans want to go on for a bit of a laugh. They don't want to cause any harm. You obviously, but you can't condone it because then you've got the flip side of that where you do get idiots that take it too far. And, one day it could be, who knows what could happen, looking at the Eddie Howe thing the other day. But yeah, I just think there's no excuse. It is policeable. You can envisage what's going to happen. Luton knew tonight that if they got to the final, it was likely to happen. Yeah. I don't buy the fact that you can't prevent it. That was my main point I wanted to make.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you phoning in, Tom. Thanks for that. Cool. And you can continue having your say on this. Let's go to Nick. He's a Spurs fan. He's a steward. This is all right, Nick.
All right, Nick.
Hello, Jamie. Jason, how are you guys?
I'm
good. Is this Nick that I see the other day at the Spurs charity game?
Yes, it was indeed, mate. How are you, Jamie?
I'm good, Nick. How are you, mate? Now,
Jason, how are you, mate?
I'm good, Nick.
Mate.
So, Nick, listen, I've just messaged you actually, right? And I said, is that you? That you went on? What was he like, O'Hara? O'Hara's been coming here saying he was absolutely man all over the pitch. Yeah, all over the pitch, man of the match, he said.
He was quality, Jason. He was hard as nails. He reminded me of Razor Ruddick on that pitch, mate.
I look like Razor Ruddick about 6 months ago.
But I'll tell you something, Jace. He was a top bloke. I said to him, you know what, mate? I really like you, JB. Remember me years ago at Spurs when I first met you? Yeah. And I said to him, you and Jason are my favourite players, mate.
Yeah, Nick, I really appreciate you coming in. It was brilliant, that Spurs charity game. It raised a load of money, and it was nice to see some old faces as well that are still involved at the football club. It still got that family feel, Spurs. People don't see it as much anymore, but it still has got the same. It's got the old faces still there.
Oh, Jamie, it was extremely a brilliant day, mate. All those players. I've been at the club 35 years. And seeing those players, and they recognise me, and the embracing of like Sandro and Tom Huddleston and Aaron Lennon and Robert King, it was nice to feel like all those years they said, "My God, Nick, you haven't changed, and you looked after us over the years." That's what's all about football. Yeah. And this is why the question is, Jamie and Jason, I'm telling you that. I work at Leighton Orient on match days, and this year it was a great season. We won the championship, it was brilliant. And a lot of planning goes into this thing, the pitch incursions.
Yeah.
You've got to think of me, where I'm in a tunnel area, my duty is to make sure the referees, the players come off. The club go through so many meetings with the local authorities, the stewards. We have a ring of security, like stewards around the away supporters, trying to not them come onto the pitch.
Yeah.
And you know what? You think it's a great celebration, but think of the consequences of what it can cause. People sort of getting stampeded on now, or young children getting hurt, or even someone getting sort of like, the flares and whatnot being lit on the pitch.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work goes into it, and we sort of like have like a couple of sleepless nights before a game like this, thinking, how bad can it be?
Yeah.
People, it's good to celebrate, James, I understand. But think of, what the danger could be happening on that pitch.
Nick, when you're in these meetings and you have these conversations about trying to stop pitch invasions, obviously you're not a police officer, you're a steward. In terms of rights for you and what you are able to do in terms of stopping a fan, what can you actually do?
It's just basically doing crowd safety, ensuring, trying sort of like, get everyone off the pitch. But the announcements go out on the tannoy, in the match programme, on the website. We could only sort of like use only a small force sort of like hands-on, basically. You can't grab them off the pitch. Just basically trying to sort of like show your presence there. Yeah. On that particular game, we had double the stewards. It's just making sure, like, you're ticking the boxes, mate. Because the clubs get heavily fined, they do. And it's not fair.
We said £70,000 or thereabouts Huddersfield were fined last year, so Luton could find there, isn't it?
Nick, I've got to ask you, obviously when Cundy was at Tottenham, obviously he digs us out all the time, but he was a real bad footballer for Spurs, wasn't he?
Well, I'm not going to say I like Jason because when I first met him, he used to come in and remember Jason, the car you had at Vauxhall Cabaret?
Yeah.
And I was at your school. That brilliant goal, was it against Ipswich, Jason? Was it?
Yeah.
The shin. The shin.
Come
off his shin. It was a tackle, Nick.
Jamie, he scored for us, mate, and that was good. As I said, he was a great character. I mean, I could write a book, mate, of all the people I've met over the years in 35 years there.
Yeah.
And and it's a pleasure to say, like, seeing you on Sunday, Jamie.
Yeah.
And then loads of things. And one thing I want to say to you both guys. I really appreciate talkSPORT, what you've done for my cousin Tony, those messages.
Yes, I got them over to you, didn't I? Yes, yeah.
He really is suffering at the moment, guys. He's going to need surgery, but thankfully he's in the world of us. But playing those messages to him, it meant a world to him, mate. I was talking to Carlton Cole on Sunday again, thanking him. And it's emotional, mate, when you think, well, like, he's a character that listens to talkSPORT every day in his shop. Yeah. And to listen to it and at the same time have that accident, it was quite, emotional. And Jason, I spoke to you about that one.
Yes, you did.
It's been a bad experience for us, mate, and we're praying for him and his family. And he actually had, he put a big smile on his face when he was in that coma. When he came out of it.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, listen, Nick,
it's always good to speak to you,
message
Nick.
in a week, Nick.
And it was really good to see you again, mate. And it's great to have you on the
Jamie,
show as
lovely
well.
seeing you, mate. And Jason, keep in touch, mate. We'll have a chat to you in a week, mate.
Cheers, bud.
Take care, mate.
Take care, mate.
Let's go to Adam, who's a Luton Town fan. All right, Adam?
Yeah, hello. Sorry about that. Sorry about the phone.
No worries, mate. You said you're not happy with the fans tonight. You was at the game.
No, I was at the game tonight. I was also at the game at Huddersfield last year. And going back about 20, 25 years ago was the last time my dad ever went to a football match when we went away to Cardiff. And they invaded the pitch at Cardiff, and I don't think he's ever been so scared in his life.
Do you remember the Millwall? This is going back around about 35, 40 years ago, maybe 35, where Millwall invaded the pitch at Luton when I think the plastic pitch was down, and it all kicked off. I remember that.
I was there that day as well. We obviously left when all the trouble happened, but it wasn't a great thing. I was still at school then. But just going back to today, I mean, there was only about 700, perhaps 800 people on there, but it spoilt it for others as well, because obviously we had to wait about 50 minutes for the players to come out. There was a big bit on the website today about please stay off the pitch.
Right.
They said over the tannoy, don't go on the pitch. Last game of the season against Hull, nobody went on the pitch last game of the season. Obviously we got still going in the playoffs, but everybody took notice for that game, so I don't really know today. But as I said, we'll definitely get fined because there were a few that were going in the under Sunderland fans, and there was also at least 2 flares that went off. So 100% they'll get fined. So we really need to go up because we can't afford the fine if we don't go up.
Yeah. No, Adam, I really appreciate you phoning in and giving us an insight into it. And obviously we get mixed reviews from people, but it is a difficult one. It really is. I really understand fans that want to celebrate with their players, but I also understand the safety of opposing players, opposing fans, opposing staff. It is a scary experience if you're on the receiving end of a bad loss and all of a sudden all them home fans are running on the pitch and you're trying to walk off the pitch. It ain't a nice feeling.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.